What's up, CFM? It's Coach Matt. It's our Thursday workout. This is easily the hardest workout we're going to do this week. Our main event is 3x20 front squats. So before we talk about that, let's get into the priming piece of this. So the extended warm-up today is going to be 12 minutes long. It's going to be an EMOM, and it's going to get your heart rate up a little bit higher than a normal warm-up would. And the purpose of that is to prime your nervous system, get you a little heart rate peak before we go into the 3x20 front squat, sort of to get that initial exposure to some intensity out of the way before your first set of the front squats, okay? So let's begin with, it's going to be 4 different exercises. It's going to be a minute per exercise, and we're gonna rotate on the minute. So you have A, B, C, D. A is going to be just planking for 45 seconds, right? So again, the purpose of this is priming the nervous system for maintaining a good brace in the midline. So you can be on the hands, you can be on the elbows if you would like, it doesn't matter, but I want you braced and I want you actively recruiting the abdominals and the glutes and the back in order to maintain a good brace in your spine, right? Our next one is stay on the ground, but 4 reps of each on each leg of a Spider-Man plus a twist up. So 3, 2, 1, switch. We're gonna reach that elbow towards the ground, keep the outside hand planted and twist your other arm up to the sky. That same arm goes back to the ground, back to the sky. 4 reps on each side of that. Next one is gonna be a little kettlebell circuit. We're gonna do 8 reps of a hinge to a squat. This is kind of like our good morning squat, but with a kettlebell. So I'm holding the kettlebell to my chest. I'm gonna do a hip hinge, and then down into that goblet squat, and then stands from the side. Looks like keeping it tight to my chest. Hip hinge, pivot down into that goblet squat, and then up. 8 reps of that. And then our final one is just 6 reps of a Russian kettlebell swing plus 4 frog hops. So just swing to the eyeball height. When you finish 6 reps, touch the ground, right into those frog hops, right? So all that stuff is targeted at prepping the legs, the core, the shoulders for sustaining the load of that front squat and priming the nervous system to put out a lot of effort when it comes to those 20 rep front squats. So this one is a special one to me because it was where I was first introduced to the concept of a very short duration but extremely high intensity effort and the mental toughness that can develop, right? Because if you get to rep number 13 of the front squats, then probably you can get to rep number 20. Even if you say there's no way I can do a single more rep or one more rep because my arms are just gonna collapse, right? And that is where it helps to take a big deep breath, stomp your feet, bump that bar up just a little bit, reset your shoulders, do 1 rep. And you gotta literally take them one at a time. The range of percentages that we will do for the 30 rep front squat, at the top end of the percentage range should be about 70%. The bottom end should be somewhere in the 55-ish percent. If you go off of your front squat max, it'll obviously be closer. If you go off your back squat max, it'll be a little bit lower because your front squat is naturally gonna be somewhere around 20% lower than your back squat. So in that range, I would say like my back squat 1 rep max is 350. My front squat 20 rep max is 195, right? So that's about 55 or 60% of my back squat max. My 1 rep max front squat is 275, so it's about like 60-ish percent, 65-ish percent of that, okay? That's just round math. I want you to do a handful of warm-up sets. If you've done this before, you know what you're basing it on, maybe take a risk. If you've never done it before, I would bias towards a moderate weight that's in those percentage ranges. And the main thing is if you put it back in the rack before your 20 reps are done, then you could have at least tried another rep, right? So if you're not getting to 20, I want you to fail with that bar on the ground, right? I want you to get, and that's all about that effort level of pushing into a very uncomfortable situation, right? And trying to maintain your posture, trying to maintain your breathing, trying to maintain your core and your bracing, even under an extremely challenging situation, okay? So that is our front squat 20 rep max. We're gonna do 3 sets of it. The first set is usually where your max is, and if you wanna go down in weight as you go through each set, that is totally fine. The priority for today is always posture and position, and second is completion of all the reps without stopping. All right, so stopping doesn't mean I stand tall, right? So like once you get the bar out of the rack, I'm going, my set has not completed until I either drop the bar or I put the bar back in the rack. So if I get 6 reps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have to stop, take a breath, adjust my hands, adjust my feet, that's totally fine. That does not count as stopping. What counts as stopping is either that, putting it back in the rack, or dropping it to the ground, okay? Very challenging workout today. I won't be surprised if we have a little bit lighter attendance, right? So if you're watching this and you're wondering if you should try it, it is absolutely hands down one of my favorite workouts, but it's also one of the ones that is scariest, but that means it develops the most mental toughness and bravery when it comes to training, right? So hope you guys have a great one. Show up for 20 rep front squats, and I'll see you guys on Friday.